Good morning, all you folks out there in YouTube land. Thrash Pondo here, and as I'm sure you were all aware of, I put up a post poll not too long ago where I asked you folks what you would most likely see from this channel. And you have all answered, and you shall all receive. But before we receive, I've got to tell you, well, I'm getting redundant here, but I'm going to say it anyway. Like, subscribe, follow, and all the nice things that I've always been asking you folks to do. I know you have it in you people. Keep up the good work. And anyway, moving forward, I've decided that I'm going to try to satisfy all the requests with some varying degrees of success, I'm sure. Now, don't worry. A lot of people wanted more dad jokes, and I promise you, you'll get those. By the way, Mr. Carpenter, I actually found the punchline to yours. I dug through the comments and got it. So yes, I'm going to shamelessly add yours to the collection. And a lot of you wanted, particularly Miss Cindy, and don't worry, I didn't forget you. Wanted another rendition of my infamous '80s forgotten song lyrics. I am cobbling one of those together feverishly. But today I think I'm going to give you folks one of my favorite types is another one of my creepy classics. Now I got a creepy classic request for Bad Moon Rising by Creedence Clearwater Revival, one of my favorite bands of all time, going back to when I was knee high to a nipper. And that's perfect for Halloween, and you know what? I am going to do that. But today I decided to do my personal pick for the creepy classic, and that is their anti-establishment anthem, "Fortunate Son." Something I'm sure you've heard if you've seen any American Vietnam movie ever made. And there's a good reason for that. And again, in typical Creedence, it's this real up-tempo, foot-tapping, wanna-sing-along type song. And then you start listening to the lyrics, and it starts off, he's just sort of maybe poking a little good-natured fun at your garden variety American super patriots about how they're always, USA, USA, and all that. And then when you start listening to the lyrics, you realize it's not because he doesn't love his country. It's because he is disenfranchised by it. He's not part of the lawmaking body. He doesn't make the laws. He's not the senator's son, hence the "it ain't me, it ain't me." It's almost like something out of John Steinbeck, as where the Jodes just see themselves as living on American territory, but not really part of the whole uh, ball of wax. How many of us have felt like that at one point or another? And he then goes on to talk about the wealthy and entitled class and literally how they become rich literally by taking whatever they want. But when the taxman comes around to take their fair share of the profits, all of a sudden they cry poverty. And again, he states, that ain't me. That ain't me. I'm not wealthy. And God knows I pay my fair share of the taxes. As I heard it put best years ago, they always come after the little guy first. But moving forward, it then goes on. What I feel is really the key takeaway, and was definitely the saddest part of the song. He talks about going to war, and he talks about how the wars are always orchestrated and demanded by this sort of entitled class, the lawmaking body, the politicians, the wealthy people. It's always their decision when we go to war and to whom we go to war with. And in the overwhelming majority of cases, these wars are then fought by the working class people. Now, I'm not going to say that there aren't members of the upper classes who haven't lost family member in war. I mean, New England anecdote that I think bears credence. Bears credence. Of course, we all know the story of the Kennedys and how Jack's older brother died in the Second World War, and there are many other cases of the very elite laying down their lives for their country. But it just seems by and large it is the masses who absorb the casualty base. And what Mr. Fogarty is saying is it's just not fair. I mean, you have this sort of elite at the top who makes all the decisions, and it's the people at the base of the pyramid who have to pay the price. Now, of course, when the song came out, the Vietnam War was at its peak. Again, that's why you would see this song played on the soundtracks of pretty much every American movie centering around Vietnam. And it was a very poignant. There was a lot of anti-war sentiment at the time. There were protests, kids burning their draft cards. None of these things I'm advocating, by the way. Mine is simply to report on, not take sides. With more on that in other posts. Your personal feelings are entirely up to you as well, by the way, and I more than respect them in either case. But this is Mr. Fogarty's message: is that he is very, very saddened by this class disparity. And in such an upbeat, snappy, as Tom Hanks would say, song, it's kind of funny. It doesn't feel or sound like a protest song. But then again, a lot of protest songs came out of old folk music, and that always tended, by and large, to be very upbeat as well, with some very notable exceptions. But anyway, that's all I got for you today. Again, I am working on other projects. You're gonna see an '80s lyrics Q&A very, very, very soon. I promise. I am compiling masses of more dad jokes, and I've even got a couple sci-fi film reviews that I'm sort of polishing up as we go. Might even get that out before during this weekend. Can't make any promises. The weekend's kind of getting here a lot faster than I imagined. But anyway, until my next project, be good, be safe, be careful, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all again very, 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 very soon. Peace.